लक्ष्मी नृसिंहशतेत्करुणैकपात्रम् श्रीरङ्गनाथ गोपीन्द्रलक्ष्मी नृसिंहशत श्रीरङ्गनाथ गोपीन्द्रलक्ष्मी नृसिंहशतेत्करुणैकपात्रं श्रीरङ्गवीरविराट्गोपुरजं वेदान्तदेशिकमप्रपद्ये श्रीमते श्रीवंशगोपश्री वेदान्तदेशिके नमः देशिकाय नमः। ओम अस्मद्गुरुभ्यो नमः अस्मत्परमगुरुभ्यो नमः ओम अस्मत्सर्वगुरुभ्यो नमः श्रीमते निगमान्तमः देशिकाय नमः। प्रपज्ये नरवद्यानां निषद्यां गुणसम्पदां शरणं भवभीतानां शठगोपमुनीश्वरम्। We completed Paduka Sahasram, first 7 chapters, and now today we have to start the 8th chapter. श्रीमते रामानुजाय नमः श्रीमते निगमान्तमहादेशिकाय नमः श्री रंगनाथ दिव्य मणिपादकाभ्यां नमः। विश्वामित्र गोत्रभूषणैः अनन्तकल्याणगुणाकरैः श्री रंगराज दिव्य आज्ञा लब्ध वेदान्ताचार्यपदैः कवितार्क्य सिंह इति प्रख्यात गुणसमाख्यैः सर्वतन्त्र स्वतन्त्रैः श्रीमद्वेङ्कटनाथार्यैः श्रीमन्निगमान्तमहादेशिकैः सकललोकोज्जीवनाय अनुगृहीतं श्री रंगनाथ पादुका सहस्रम्।
Please mute everyone. Chant Achartan. Vedabhrangam Narayana Kupabhishaktam Sri Ranganatha Tishakalabdha Bodham Sri Krishna Desham Prapate Srimate Sri Krishna Desham Mahadeshkaya Nama Asmat Gurubhyo Nama Asmat Parma Gurubhyo Nama Asmat Sarva Gurubhyo Nama Narayana. Simanas.
Narayana. So we'll be starting the 8th chapter, Sri Paduka Sahasram. Niryatana Paddhatihi Ashtami. Sriman Venkatanadharya Kavitarkika Kesari Vedantacharya Varyo Me Sannidhattam Sada Hridayam. Abhishekotsavat tasmat yasya niryatanotsavah atyarichyatatam vande bhavyam bharata devatam. Abhisheka utsavat tasmat yasya niryatanotsavah atyarichyata tam vande bhavyam bharata devatam. There is no limit for Mahatma Vedanta Deshikas. Absolute dedication to Paduka Devi. Complete Paratantriyam. That grand celebration of Padukas the same Padukas which are given to Bharata by Bhagavan Sri Ramachandra 14 years ago, when Rama returned from the forest after his 14 years of exile is over. So Niryatanam means the Padukas that were there with Bharata were for being returned to Rama. And now Mahatma Deshika says the Pattabhishekam of Paduka Devi was a very, very grand event. But more than the Pattabhishekam, here you can say Pattabhishekam of Rama or Pattabhishekam of Padukas. Maybe he meant actually Pattabhishekam of Rama. Compared to that, the returning of the Padukas back to Rama, the uniting, getting the Padukas united with the divine feet of Lord Rama has become more auspicious than the actual celebrations of the coronation. Therefore, may we offer our humble prostrations to those Padukas. And who is Paduka Devi? The worshipful deity of Bharata. Vande Bhavyam Bharata Devatam. Just as we have Ishtadaivam. Some people, they have Krishna as their Ishtadaivam. Some people, they have Srinivasa as their Kuladaivam, Ishtadaivam, etc. Favorite form of the Lord for worship. All forms of the Lord are the same. Bhagavan Sriman Narayana, same as Nrsimha, same as Rama, same as Krishna, same as Srinivasa, same as Hayagriva. But when it comes to individual preferences, some people have a preference, a liking for one particular form. Either they like some kind of the leelas that Bhagavan has displayed during that incarnation or during that form. So that's how they develop some kind of an attachment to a particular form. Bhavyam Bharata Devatam. So the worshipful deity of Bharata is not Narayana, is not Ranganatha, is not Ramachandra, but the Padukas of Lord Rama. Fortunate is Bharata. Abhisheka Utsavat Tasmat, compared to the Abhishek Utsavam, the Padukas being returned to Rama has got greater significance. And that is what is highlighted here by Mahatma Deshika. Why? The unimaginable pain Paduka Devi has gone through for 14 years, having been separated from her Lord, is way beyond anybody's imagination. And when Paduka Devi got united with the divine feet of Lord Rama, who do you think is the happiest person? Bharata. Yes, somebody's speaker is on. The Srinivas, can you turn off your speaker, sir? So in that sense, we have a very unique way of understanding the glory of Padukas compared to anything else. And the celebration itself is so grand. "14 years of separation is not easy for Paduka Devi to bear. As though that burden is not enough, that Padika Devi got separated from the divine feet of Lord Rama. Padika Devi is now burdened with an additional responsibility of taking care of all the people of Ayodhya. Additional burden. Already she is going through her own pangs of separation, Viraha Vedana, unable to live without constant contact with Bhagavan Sri Ramachandra's divine feet. In spite of Padika Devi suffering her own pain of separation, she was given an additional responsibility of taking care of the people of Ayodhya, which she did so efficiently. In fact, Mahatma Vedanta Deshika says, during the 14 years of Padika Devi on the Simhasanam of the Ikshvakus, Dharmam was there observed so perfectly. No child ever died when the parents are alive. No woman ever became a widow. Every woman left the planet Earth as a Sumangali only. Therefore, all Mahatmas, in spite of their own personal pain, they will never bring it into picture while discharging their responsibilities. That is the greatness of Padika Devi, which Mahatma Deshika is trying to explain us. No one else could have discharged the responsibilities so well. Celebration. When Rama returned, the entire Ayodhya went forward to welcome Rama. Nyasam. Nyasam means Bharata was given the Padikas as a custodian. It is Sri Rama's property kept with Bharata for safe keeping. Ramachandra's property. Bhagavan Sri Ramachandra's property is also Ayodhya. But more than Ayodhya, what is so dear to Rama are the Padikas. Now, the next verse he says, Upanasya varshani chaturdashatvam उत्तीरिकाम् उत्तरकोसलस्थाः सनन्दनाद्यैः अपि दुर्विगाहम् सान्तानिकम् लोकम् अवापुरगृहम्. उपास्य वर्षाणि 14 त्वाम्. Here, all the residents of Uttara Kosalam. Uttara Kosala means the northern Kosala Desham. All of them. Northern Kosala refers to Ayodhya. Worship the divine Padukas of Bhagavan Sri Ramachandra. Because these Padukas are capable of bestowing salvation. Residents of Uttara Kosala worshipped Padukas for 14 years and attained the supreme Santanika Loka. Sri Vaikuntham is also known as Santanika Lokam. Padukas themselves are capable of giving us salvation. Now, what is the greatness of the Padukas? These Padukas are so great that even the people of Ayodhya who worship the Padukas could get Sri Vaikuntham. Whereas Mahatmas like Sanandana, Adyaihi, you remember? The first created people. Sanaka, Sanandana, Sanatana, Sanat Sujata. Even what they could not attain, the not so educated, ordinary people of Ayodhya could attain that moksha. Therefore, may we be fortunate enough to worship those Padukas. Fortunate are the people of Ayodhya. Because these Padukas of Rama are more than capable of bestowing salvation. That's why all of them could attain Sri Vaikuntha Lokam. Which great Mahatmas like Sanaka, Sanandana, Sanat Kumara and Sanat Sujata, the four Kumaras, the first created beings, who wanted to enter Vaikuntham but were stopped by the Jai Vijayas. All the people, be they Sanaka, Sanandana, Sanatana, etc., They could not attain salvation even by worshipping Rama for 11,000 years. Bhagavan Sri Ramachandra was there on the planet Earth for 11,000 years. Bhagavan ruled Ayodhya for 11,000 years. What people could not attain, worshipping Rama for 14,000 years. The people of Ayodhya could attain just by worshipping the Padukas for 14 years. Look at the greatness of Padukas. That's where we have to understand why people so reverentially accept the Padukas on their feet. Shatari, saying Dhanyosmi, Dasosmi, Kutardhosmi, Anugrihitosmi. A person feels Dhanyosmi, I am more than blessed for having the Padukas on our head. That's what people do. Dhanyosmi. Krutardhosmi. There is no desire that cannot be fulfilled. Kruta ardhaha asmi. Whatever my desire, they are all fulfilled. Dasosmi, because I am an eternal servant of the Paduka Devi. Anybody who can be in that mode of humility, Paratantriyam, is sure to get the blessings of Paduka Devi. And if you have Paduka Devi's blessings, your Vaikuntha Prapti is only a question of time. Whenever you are ready, Moksha Kanta is there waiting at your doorstep to take you to Vaikuntham. What else we need? When we have the most merciful Padukas on our side. Why other people won't do Paduka Radhana? That's it. Even though Bhagavan Sri Krishna said, Kleshodhika tarastesham avyakta sakta chetasam avyakta hi gatir dukkham dehavadhi avapyate. In spite of Bhagavan Sri Krishna saying so specifically, avyakta hi gatir dukkham, some people still hang on only to that kind of a nirguna tattvam of Bhagavan. Why? That's what people are. Very simply, that is what people are. Go back to Kulasekhar Alvar, where the Mahatma Kulasekhar Alvar says, Govinda Damodara Madhaveti Vaktum Samardhopi Navakti Kaschit Aho Jananam Vyasanabhimukhyam. Everyone is capable of chanting Govinda Damodara Madhava. In spite of everyone being capable of chanting Govinda Damodara Madhava, not even one is chanting because Aho Jananam Vyasanabhimukhyam. Same way, all Mahatmas know there's nothing superior to the worship of Padukas, but still they don't do. Why? There are no answers for these questions. Why? Buddhihi karmanusarini. Our intellect will work in a way based on the type of karma that we have to go through. These are the very first created beings, Sanaka, Sanandana, Sanatana, Sana, Sujata. They could not attain moksha, were stopped at the gate itself. Therefore, all the devotees who are practicing Paratantrim, they just worshipped Paduka Devi for 14 years and got moksha. How was it possible? Because of the supreme Paratantrium of Paduka Devi, everything is possible. That's what Mahatma Deshika is trying to convey to us. That Paratantrim, there are no limits for Paratantrim. The minute we have Swatantrim, we are far away from Paratantrim. If we want Paratantrim, our Swatantrim should be sacrificed. Same thing he says in the next verse also. Padavani prachayato Hanuman Sita mivatvam Chira Viprayukta Pranamya Paulascha Ripoho Udantam Vignapayamasa Vinita Veshaha. Padavani Prachayito Hanuman Sitam Ivatvam Chira Viprayuktam Pranamya Paulascha Ripoho Udantam Vignapayamasa Vinita Vesha. Sundarakanda, the great Mahatma Hanuman, crossing the ocean, reaching Lanka, searching for Sita Devi everywhere, finally locating her in Ashokavanam. Now, what connection is there for Padukas and all these things? That's where Mahatma Deshika brings in the correlation between Padukas and Hanuman's Sundarakanda. The most trustworthy Hanuman offered his prostrations to the Padukas as he did to Sita Devi and submitted to you, who is separated from Sri Rama for 14 years. All the great news of Sri Rama's victory over Ravana, etc. And Hanuman came ahead of Sri Rama to Nandigrama because sage Bharadwaja asked Sri Rama to rest for some time at his ashram in his return trip to Ayodhya in that Pushpaka Vimana. Paduka's separation from Sri Rama is for 14 years. Compared to Sita Devi's separation from him is only for 1 year. So Paduka Devi deserved more soothing words. No doubt Sita Devi got separated from Rama, but her pain lasted only for 1 year. So here there's something very, very important. Bhagavan Sri Ramachandra sends all the Vanaras in all the directions to search for Sita Devi. Hanuman is the most fortunate one who could go and see Sita Devi and convey the great news that Rama is safe and he will come and protect her, and give Sri Rama Sanguliyakam, which made Sita Devi extremely happy. Remember, for 1 year of separation, Sita Devi's separation from Sri Rama is only 1 year. Remember, for 1 year of separation, if Sita Devi felt so happy to hear about Rama, what about Paduka Devi, who got separated from Rama for 14 years? Now, Bhagavan Sri Ramachandra did the same thing. As he sent Hanuman to find out Sita Devi and console her by giving his ring, Sri Ramachandra sent Hanuman also, because Bharadwaja Maharshi asked Sri Rama to stay and rest for some time. Bhagavan sent Hanuman. So when Hanuman came to meet Bharata and conveyed all about Rama, who is happy? Paduka Devi. Just as Sita Devi was happy to hear about Rama from Hanuman, Hanuman did another great job of consoling Paduka Devi, who got separated from her Lord for 14 years. So therefore the pain of Paduka Devi is so great compared to the pain of Sita Devi. And both times Hanuman had the bhagyam of consoling Sita Devi as well as Paduka Devi. Because Hanuman was sent ahead of Rama coming to Ayodhya. By the time they reached Bharadwaj Maharshi's ashramam at Allahabad, all the way from Sri Lanka to Kishkintha, from Kishkintha to Bharadwaj Maharshi's ashramam Allahabad. It was late night and Bharadwaj Maharshi asked Rama to rest. Rama could not say no to Maharshi. But Sri Ramachandra was afraid that Bharata may immolate himself, because by next morning, if he is not there in Ayodhya, Bharata promised to immolate himself. Therefore, Bhagavan requested Hanuman to go to Bharata and tell him not to immolate himself, that Bhagavan was on his way, that he could have been in Ayodhya a long time back, but since he cannot refuse a Mahatma's instruction, Maharshi's instructions, Bharadwaja's instruction, Bhagavan Sri Rama was forced to stay at Bharadwaja's ashramam. Therefore, don't jump into fire. But the real intention could be different. Bhagavan Sri Ramachandra wanted Hanuman to convey the message to Paduka Devi, who is going through unimaginable pains of separation, Viraha Vedana, because her separation from Rama's feet is for 14 years, compared to Sita Devi's separation from Rama is only for 1 year. So whose pain could be greater? Certainly Paduka Devi's. Fortunate is Hanuman, who could relieve Sita Devi and who could relieve Paduka Devi of all the pain they are going through. Bharadwaja Maharshi's instructions, Rama could not even say no. It all depends on how you look at certain things. If 1 year of separation from Rama made Sita Devi feel so happy when Hanuman narrated about the welfare of Rama, imagine how happy Paduka Devi felt when Hanuman gave the wonderful news to Bharata that Bhagavan Sri Ramachandra is just on his way, just only one step away, because of Bharadwaj Maharshi's Shasanam. The happiest person, no doubt Bharata, but more than Bharata, Paduka Devi. That is how we have to understand Mahatma Deshika's unimaginable skill in conveying a small incident called Paduka Pattabhishekam into an unimaginable literary work of 1,000 verses glorifying the divine Padukas of Bhagavan Sri Ramachandra. And in both occasions, Hanuman is the fortunate person to give the wonderful news to Sita Devi, and Hanuman is the same fortunate person to give the wonderful news to Paduka Devi also about Rama's welfare and his immediate return. Now, in the next verse, Tavabhishekan Manipada Rakshe Mule Nishekadiva Vruddhi Yogyate Jahustadaiva Tadashangananam Pramlanatam Patra Latankurani. Tavabhishekat Manipada Rakshe. Hey, gems-studded padukas, all those are decorative tattoos of leaves and creepers indicating prosperity, added some special attractions on the bodies of the celestial ladies, came back to their original glow, which were faded due to their fear of Ravana, as the coronation waters, Pattabhisheka Jalam, was poured at the roots of all those creepers. Just as these days, fashionable people have tattooing, fashionable people have body painting, etc. They get tattoos printed on their bodies. Sometimes permanent tattoos, sometimes peel off something, stickers like that, whatever it be. Those days also they were having the same thing. All the celestial ladies, Devakantas, were there having all those tattoos, decorative tattoos, like fine leaves or creepers, that indicate that you are in a very happy mood, that you want to enjoy life. Why people have the tattoos? Because they wanted to indicate to other people how happy they are. Celestial ladies are no exception. They also have leaves, creepers tattooed, the decorative tattoos. But because Ravana was terrorizing, the ladies could not enjoy the tattoos on their bodies. But when Paduka Devi got Pattabhishekam, all the divine ladies are so happy. Now that Paduka Devi had Pattabhishekam, that means Rama is sure to kill Ravana. So when they were there in such a happy mood, that their torture is going to end very soon, when Bhagavan Sri Ramachandra kills Ravana. So the tattoos came back to their original glow. Before they were so dull, they were not glowing. Now when they heard that great news, that Paduka Devi got Pattabhishekam, indicating that Rama did not return to Ayodhya. Rama did not return to Ayodhya means Ravana's death is certain. And that one feeling that Ravana's death is certain came when they heard the Devi Devatas, or celestial ladies, that Paduka Devi got Pattabhishekam. That means for 14 years Paduka Devi will take care of, and 14 years is plenty time for Rama to kill this unimaginable demon Ravana. And all that is made possible by the Pattabhishekam of Paduka Devi. See how beautifully Mahatma Dishka connects one to the other. And in the next verse, Mahatma Dishka again is trying to glorify Paduka Devi in a different way. And that in the 5th verse of the 8th chapter. Sarvatah tvat abhisheka vasare samya gudruta samasta kantake raghavasya vipineshu paduke yatra kama gamata vyavastita. Another new way of looking at the glory of Paduka Devi. Hey Paduka Devi, on that particular day of your coronation, Paduka Pattabhishekam, all the thorns, in the forest, thorns, sharp stones, in all those forests and the countries were crushed, not to raise their heads again. That is how the unimpeded movements of Bhagavan Sri Rama became painless in the forest, because he had no padukas. The padukas he had were given to Bharata. Therefore, Paduka Devi thought, my Lord Sri Ramachandra's feet are going to get hurt when he was walking barefoot in the forest, and the very sharp thorns, sharp stones can literally cause pain to the divine feet of Lord Rama. So what did Paduka Devi, so Sankalpam was, at the time of coronation, all the thorns in all the forests and on all the countrysides were just crushed so that they will never raise their head again. So that way Rama will have a safe way to walk with no fear that the thorns are going to hurt him. How was it made possible? By Paduka Devi. Again, how was it made possible? Even by Paduka Devi. It's very easy to understand. If suppose there is a thorn and it is crushed, if suppose there is a sharp stone and that is crushed, then naturally Rama's feet will not have any pain to walk barefoot in the forest. Bhagavan Sri Rama decided that he has to protect all the Maharshis. That's his primary job, Paritranaya Sadhunam. So he has to stay in the forest. Bharata is begging Rama to return. Mahatma Sri Ramachandra decided in such a way that he will do his Pitruvakya Paripalanam by staying in the forest. But at the same time, he wanted to make Bharata also very happy by giving the Padakas. Remember, by giving the Padakas, Rama became a person dwelling in the forest but without Padakas. Therefore, Padaka Devi was afraid her Lord, the feet of the Bhagavan Rama, may get hurt. How to protect my husband, my Lord Sri Ramachandra's feet? Padaka Devi decided, let this coronation, on this day, let this coronation crush all the thorns in all the forests and countries, so that they will never raise their head again and hurt Sri Rama's feet. See how beautifully Mahatma Vedanta Deshika thinks. Go ahead, Amma. If you have some questions, quickly make it so that I can go to Santan Gopal Krishna Puja. Go ahead, Amma. Anyone of you have any questions, Amma?
I didn't see one, Swamiji.
Hmm.
Swamiji, one devotee is joined from Texas. He has some questions, Swamiji.
Go ahead.
Srinivas garu. Srinivas garu.
Hello, Srinivas sir.
Yeah.
Chippan, you have some questions? Hello, Srinivas. Feel free to talk, sir. Unmute your phone and talk.
Swamiji, a question, Swamiji.
Go ahead.
The వైకుంఠం అంటే ఇక మళ్ళీ తిరిగి రామంటారు కదా స్వామిజీ. ఆ వైకుంఠంలో ఏమన్నా డిఫరెన్సెస్ ఉన్నాయా? కొంతమంది వైకుంఠంకి వెళ్ళిన వాళ్ళు కూడా బ్యాక్ వచ్చిన వాళ్ళు ఉన్నారు కదా, మామూలు జై విజుల్ లాగా.
Oh, I see. Okay, hold on. There is the difference between head office Vaikuntham, branch office Vaikuntham. The head office Vaikuntham, the planning office, Karana Vaikuntham, is beyond Brahmaloka. Anybody who goes there will never come back. But the Karya Vaikuntham, the branch office or the executive office, where the planning done in Sri Vaikuntham, the head office, the Karana Vaikuntham, will be put into practice. So the branch office or the executive office is there in one section of the Brahmaloka, which is in material world. That is the reason why all the people who went to that Vaikuntham, namely wherever Mahavishnu is there, you call it Vaikuntham. So this is Karya Vaikuntham, executive office, branch office, not the head office, not the Karana Vaikuntham, not the planning office. Head office, planning office, Karana Vaikuntham, beyond Brahmaloka, and anybody going there will never come back. Even that only exception is by Sriman Narayana's mercy, Nammalvar is the only one who could come back. That's why he could describe about Vaikuntham so well. No one comes back unless Bhagavan wills it. Whereas in the case of the Karya Vaikuntham, executive office, branch office, which is in one section of Brahmaloka, many people went there and they can come back. Because in original Vaikuntham, head office Vaikuntham, everybody is in Shuddha Tattvam. Therefore, there is no question of anger, hatred, cursing each other, etc. So the four Kumaras went only to the branch office, not Karana Vaikuntham, Karya Vaikuntham. Same thing, Mahatma Durvasa, Brahmarshi, son of Atri and Ansuya, born with the blessings of Umapati, Shankara. He offended a pure Bhagavata, Ambarisha. Bhagavan sent Sudarshan Chakra, which was chasing Durvasa. In spite of his being a Maharshi, Brahmarshi, he could not protect himself. Neither Brahma, nor Rudra, nor Vishnu could give protection. So a person who goes to Vishnu, why should he come back? Because Mahavishnu says, I don't want to protect you. If you want to save yourself, go and fall at the feet of Ambarisha. So Durvasa has to come back. When you reach Vaikuntham, what is the need, or why do you have to come back? That is where we have to understand. So all these people, they went only to Karya Vaikuntham, not the Karana Vaikuntham. Is that clear, sir?
Yeah, clear, Swamiji. ఇంకో క్వశ్చన్ స్వామీజీ, మరి అక్కడ దాకా వెళ్ళిన వాళ్ళకి చాలా దగ్గరగా ఉంటారు కదా స్వామీజీ భగవంతుడికి, మనతో కంపేర్ చేస్తే వాళ్ళు యాక్చువల్ గా మనకంటే ఫాస్ట్ గా ఆ కార్య వైకుంఠం నుంచి కారణ వైకుంఠం దగ్గరికి వెళ్ళడానికి వాళ్ళ మనసు బాగా శుద్ధిగా తయారవటానికి మనకంటే ఎక్కువ వాళ్ళకి ఛాన్స్ ఎక్కువ ఉంటుంది కదా ప్రభుజీ, స్వామీజీ.
Go ahead.
సో అటువంటిప్పుడు వాళ్ళు ఎందుకు అంత ఇబ్బంది పడతా ఉంటారు? మనమే ఇలాగే ఎంతో కష్టపడితే కానీ కొంచెం సాధన చేయడానికి చాలా ఇబ్బంది పడతా ఉంటాము. వాళ్ళు అంత దగ్గరగా ఉండి కూడా వాళ్ళకి అక్కడి వరకు వెళ్ళటమే కష్టం, కాయి వైకుంఠం దగ్గరికి వెళ్ళటమే కష్టం. అటువంటి వాళ్ళు కూడా ఎందుకు కష్టపడుతున్నారు అది దాటి లేకపోతే ఆ కారణ వైకుంఠం దగ్గరికి వెళ్ళటానికి? దాన్ని ఎలా అర్థం చేసుకోవాలి?
One thing is, Maya is very powerful. Daivi Hesha Gunamayi Mama Maya Durachaya. During the Vedic times, everybody depended only on their own effort of Bhakti Yogam. Somehow they did not do Sharanagati. Only by Sharanagati you can overcome Maya. Yes, they did millions of years of tapasya, hundreds and thousands of years of tapasya. But still, they could not overcome Maya. Simple, Vishwamitra did so much of tapasya. What happened to all the sense control? So many fights with Vasishta, so many fights with Indra and others over Trishanku, so much of harassing Harishchandra, so much of 10 years of long affair with the Menaka, all these things, Maya. Property, somehow they did not pay attention. That's why Bhagavad Ramayana brought. The only way we can overcome Maya is not through tapasya or anything, only by Sharanagati. Because that's what Krishna promised. Yes, it is so. Once having taken all the trouble of going to Karya Vaikuntham, why they have to go through? Because still the Prakruti Sambandham is there. The material contamination even in Karya Vaikuntham. Otherwise, can you imagine the gatekeepers? Can't they recognize who the four Kumaras are? They are Brahman Manasa Putras. They were just created, Mahatapasvins. But still they objected. And the people who go there all the way to Karya Vaikuntham should be how great, should be how Shantam. But when they objected, four Kumaras cursed them to get out of Vaikuntham. It's only Bhagavan Sriman Narayana out here, his mercy said, okay, just 3 births only. Be my enemies and come back to Vaikuntham. Therefore, the greatness of Sharanagati is there indirectly given. That even if people reach Karya Vaikuntham, they cannot overcome the emotional disturbances. Now comes the next question. When they could not overcome, is it easy for them to stay there and go? Of course, yes, but the problem is, there they are there, filled with pleasure, pleasure, pleasure. The people who go to Sargalokam are more interested in having unlimited sense gratification at the cost of all their punya karma. It is almost like you can sit in a temple or in your prayer room in your house and then calmly meditate. But if somebody says, I want to go to a club, I want to go to a dance party where people are singing, dancing, etc., and I want to practice spiritual life there, that place is not conducive for spiritual practices. Therefore, the Devalokas, Brahmalokas, etc., they are not conducive for spiritual practices. And when I said then people, if people don't do Sharanagati, how they become victims to Maya? Forget about the four Kumaras. Brahma himself, the first created Jivatma, because of not doing that absolute Sharanagati at the feet of Lord Sriman Narayana, even he became very arrogant and tried to play games with Bhagavan Sri Krishna. What after all is this 5-year-old boy Krishna getting all the name and fame? Let me see how he will manage if I steal all his cars and the cowhead boy. What kind of a silly thought for Brahma to have that? Because of Maya. Bhagavan Krishna became thousands of the calves and thousands of the cowhead boys, and everything was going on normally. By our standard on the planet, it was 1 year. By Brahma's standard, just a second. Now Brahma wanted to say how Krishna is managing now that I have hidden all his calves and the cowhead boys. To his great shock, Brahma saw that Lord Krishna became thousands of calves, thousands of cowhead boys, and everything was going on. Brahma realized his mistake, came and fell at the feet of Krishna. Why? Why that kind of a this thing? Daivi Pesha Gunamayi Mamamaya Durachaya. Without Prapati, even Brahma is subjected to Maya. Without Sharanagati, even Shankara is subjected to Maya. Without Sharanagati, even Indra is subjected to Maya. That's why Indra fought with Krishna when Krishna wanted the Parijata Vriksham. That's why Indra got angry with Krishna when Krishna stopped Anyadevata Puja, Kshudra Devata Puja during Govardhana Dharanam. They make mistakes, again they come and fall at the feet of Narayana and ask for forgiveness, and Bhagavan, out of his grace, abundance of grace, will still forgive them. Whether it is Brahma or whether it is Shankara or in the case of Indra. Shankara is Mahajnani. Vaishnavanam yatha Shambhu. But why did he become a victim to Maya and came and fought with Krishna on behalf of Banasura? Maya. That's why Bhagavad Ramanuja says in Sivaikunthakajam tat prapta yecha tat padambujadvaya prapati ranyaname kalpakoti sahasrena sadhanamasti manvanaha. Without Sharanagati, Krishna, even if I take 1,000,000 births and start practicing this yoga, that yoga, etc., I will not be able to get salvation. That's what exactly is the prayer of Bhagavad Ramanuja. Go ahead, man.
Namaskar, Acharya. One quick question. You mentioned about our intellect works only based on our past karma, the current karma. How one can elevate their intellect towards spiritual or to be even to go to the higher level beyond the karma impacted thing? Is there a way or possibility, or do we have to just live or based on our karma in this current life?
When we did Sharanagati, we only begged Krishna to forgive all the sanchita karma waiting for us for the next future lives, next thousands of lives. We never asked Krishna to forgive our prarabdha karma, which we had to go through in this life. Therefore, we have no choice except to go through that prarabdha karma, the present karma that we have to go through in this lifetime. The only thing, how can you elevate any kind of pain? Kevalam dvayamardhanusandhanena. May I eternally surrender to Bhagavan Sriman Narayana. May I eternally prostrate to Bhagavan Sriman Narayana. May I offer my Sharanagati at the divine feet of Lord Sriman Narayana. May I always prostrate to Bhagavan Sriman Narayana. That is the most important thing. In material life, everything is contaminated. Only in Shuddha Sattvam, nothing is contaminated. However much we try, it's impossible for us. Karma is so powerful. That's why Krishna says only by Sharanagati we can overcome Maya. If you have done Sharanagati wholeheartedly, and if you have not violated the principles of Sharanagati, namely making other Bhagavatas who had Sharanagati like you cry, as long as there is no Bhagavata Vacharam and Anyadevata Samparkam, your Sharanagati is valid and you will get moksham, sir. But Prarabdha Karma, we have no choice, we have to go through. Because we never ask Krishna to forgive the Prarabdha Karma. Can we do it again? Sharanagati is done only once. Sharanagati for moksham is done only once. At the most, what you have is, almost at the fag end of your life, you will do prayashchitta prapatti, not for moksham, for the mistakes that are committed after Sharanagati, knowingly or unknowingly. Prayashchitta prapatti. But after that, you cannot make the mistakes again. If you make again the previous one, prayashchitta prapatti loses its efficacy. Therefore, Sharanagati can be done only once. Since we have already done Sharanagati for moksham, we cannot do it again. Then at that time, had we done Artha Prapatti, yes, you could have done. But Acharyas are not doing Artha Prapatti because people are not really craving for Vaikuntham. They are only trying to get out of their frustration. Therefore, Artha Prapatti is not done. Therefore, we have to go through the Prarabdha Karma. By doing Dvayamantranusandhanam, what is going to happen? Bhagavan will give you the strength to overcome the Prarabdha Karma, to bear with the Prarabdha Karma, that's all. And you want to go faster and faster to Sri Vaikuntham? Good. Make sure that you play the biggest role of an actor. That all this world, whatever we are doing is Maya. The real truth is Mata Devi Vasudeva Pitami. And do Dvaimardhan Sandhanam. You will get the courage to face Prarabdham. You will realize that you are only you have a small role to play in this divine drama. And you will have a peaceful life and enjoy Vaikuntham at the end of his life. That's why Jivan Mukti is not a varied concept in Sri Vaishnava Siddhantam. If you are alive, that means you still have Prarabdha Karma. So, and if you have Karma, that's not Mukti. So words should be used very carefully. Jivan Mukti is not a proper word. Go ahead, Amma.
Swami, one more question, Swamiji. One, coming to Sharanagati, we chant Ashtakshar Mantram, Dvaya Mantram, and Chava Shlokam and Sri Mantram. Still, we need do anything other Parayanam, Swamiji, Vishnu Sahasram Parayanam, like Ashtotra Shatanam only. Is it mandatory?
There is nothing wrong. Look here. If you have, say, just 2 rotis and a vegetable, you can fill your stomach. That is enough. But if you have for that some kind of nice vegetable, if you have for that some papad, if you have for that something like a nice fruit juice, it will make that lunch even more enjoyable. That doesn't mean that without papad your lunch is not complete. If you have 2 rotis and a vegetable, your lunch is complete, your stomach is full. The other things will make that lunch enjoyable. Therefore, after Sharanagati, there is absolutely no need for you to do anything except the obligatory duties, Ajna Kainkaryam. After Sharanagati, Ajna Kainkaryam is to do that minimum 10 minutes of that japam. You want to enjoy your chanting, do 1,000 times. You want to do Vishnu Sahasranamam, do it. You will enjoy your Sharanagati more. You don't do it, you don't lose anything. If you have your 2 rotis and vegetable, that's enough to fill your stomach. But if you have papad, if you have a vegetable, if you have something else, it makes that lunch all the more enjoyable. That's all, nothing more than that. That doesn't mean without them your stomach will not be full. Your stomach will certainly be full. Dvayam is more than enough to get us out of this world. The other ones we are just chanting, etc., only to make life more enjoyable. And then real prapannas will not even ask for anything while doing those kind of parayanas. They will only say Bhagavadagnya Sriman Narayana Prichyartham. Let this be offered as a Kainkaryam to Bhagavan Sriman Narayana. Clear, sir?
Yes, Swamiji. Yes, Simanat. Srinivas, do you have any other questions? Please unmute and
Yamma, any other questions, Amma?
Narayana, Swami, I have a question.
Yes, Vijayaraman.
This Paduka Devi, is she glorified mainly only by Swami Vedanta Desika? Are there any other references where she is glorified by other devotees? And mainly when we talk about Paduka Devi, we mainly refer to Ramayana, where Bharata worshipping Paduka Devi, or are there any other also scriptures where she is glorified?
It is not that Vedanta Desika created the greatness of Padukas. Vedanta Desika realized the greatness of Padukas and brought it to the whole world. Even from time immemorial. Let me put it this way. Lord Rama was there 864,000 years was Dwapara Yuga. 5,000 years Kali Yuga now. 869,000 years. Before that, Treta Yugam Rama was there. But many temples were there, and in every temple there is Paduka Devi, and every one of them accepted Paduka Devi on their heads. So it is not that Paduka Devi is not there. Paduka Devi is there, but Vedanta Desika brought the glory of Paduka Devi through a composition, Paduka Sahasram. Is that clear, sir?
Yes, thank you, sir.
In every temple there are Padukas. People, they have Shatari. But they have him. Only Narayana Padukas, because they know that is the only thing that can rescue, save them. But what did Vedanta Desika do? He brought out the glory of the Padukas in 1,000 verses for the benefit of all of us, especially in Kali Yuga, especially for people who are not that much inclined to live perfect spiritual life, those who are incapable of understanding the greatness of Paduka Devi in a very easy to understand way, Mahatma Deshika brought us. That doesn't mean Paduka Devi is not existing. All of them had Padukas on their head, yes.
So Paduka Devi is like a Nitya Suri Swami. She is another form of Lakshmi.
More than Nityashuri. She is there on the platform of, he says, Paduka Devi, you are there as one of the paraphernalia for Sriman Narayana. Well, there are Nityashuris like Sudarshana, Panchajanya or Divya Yudhas. Sudarshana, Panchajanya, Kaumodiki, Nandaki, Sharngam, etc. If that were to be the case, why can't people accept Sudarshana on their head? Why can't people accept Panchajanya on their head? No, only Padukas are accepted on their head. Therefore, Paduka Devi, you excelled even Sudarshana, Panchajanya, etc. Got it, sir?
Yes. Narayana.
Go ahead, ma. All right, sir, we'll continue again. And Padma, please join for chanting at 10:30. I will also try to join because I have to go upstairs now for the Santana Goparakshna Puja. People are waiting there. Narayana, Narayana, ma.